ya risasi. Na muktadha mwingine ambao uliibuka walipozungumza ni kwamba serikali imeagiza hazina ya kitaifa kutoa shilingi bilioni 1.3 ili kulipa ada hizo ambazo serikali sasa inadaiwa. Ningependa waziri uzungumzie kuhusu hilo, pia ule mkanganyo ambao ulizungumzia leo ukasema kwamba serikali haina nia ya kuficha idadi ya maafa. Lakini kuna maswali ambayo nimekushapokea kwenye mitandao yangu kwa wale ambao wanafuatilia sasa hivi moja kwa moja, wanauliza Tume ya Kitaifa ya Haki za Kibinadamu KNHCR, je, tume hii na wizara yenye mamlaka kubwa kabisa nchini, Interior Ministry, gani ina nguvu kabisa ya kuweza kutafuta mili na pengine kufuatilia haya maswala, kwamba kuna utepetevu, waziri?
Na sisitiza kwamba habari kamili ni kwamba tulipoteza watu 42, 25 wakati wa Sabasaba na watu 17 katika siku ya Juni 25. Hiyo ndio habari kamili kutoka serikali. Habari zingine ambazo mtu yeyote yako nayo anaweza kutupatia kupitia kitengo cha polisi, ndio tuone kwamba yeye anasema mambo ya maandamano ama pengine amechanganya wale walipoteza maisha yao kwa bahati mbaya around the same time kwa mambo mengine na akaweka habari hizo pamoja. Na nilisema hapo awali, na kama mtu atatuambia kwamba ako na evidence ya watu ambao ni kweli wamekufa hao 61 kama vile KNHCR Kenya National Human Rights Commission wamesema, basi atatupatia ile inakuwa evidence na hakuna kitu tutapinga. Kama evidence ni sawa, then tutauliza idara yetu ya polisi walikosea kwa upande gani. Lakini hadi sasa hatujasema kwamba polisi wamekosea. Tumesema kwamba ripoti kamili kutoka sehemu mbalimbali ya nchi kuhusiana na June 25th and July 7th ni kwamba tulipoteza watu 42, na hao ni watu wengi sana, na sikitisha kwa sababu maandamano haifai kufikia umbali penye watu wanapoteza maisha yao. Lakini sasa shida ni kwamba maandamano yenye imekita mizizi katika taifa letu sio maandamano ile ilihitajika katika Article 37 of the Constitution. Inakuja na fujo, wizi, kuchoma police station, kuchoma kotini, kuchoma magari. Hiyo pia inatupatia shida kubwa sana kama National Police Service. Na watu wajue kwamba polisi hawako kwa siasa. Wanajipata tu kwa hii discussion kwa sababu watu ambao walitaka kufanya siasa yao kwa njia mbofu wameleta shida katika taifa letu, kiasi kwamba sasa tunaongelelea watu wamefariki. Why are we even discussing people dying in the first place? We shouldn't be there. Haifai kuwa tumefika hapo kama taifa. Maandamano inafaa kuwa ya amani, na inakuwa kwamba imepangwa na watu wana nia ya kufanya maandamano kwa njia ya amani. Lakini bali na hayo, tunasema pole sana kwa wale wote walipoteza maisha yao. Wale pia mmesema kwamba wamesema kuna mili katika private mortuaries. I think hiyo ni uongo, kwa sababu kama wangesema ukweli, wangesema kama ripoti wakiwa nayo na wangepeleka hiyo ripoti kwa polisi. Unajua kuna pia siasa mingi ya kuingiza tu uoga kwa watu bure. Hakuna mtu ana run mortuary ya kuenda kuficha mili ati kusaidia mtu yote. Kwanza hiyo ni accusing, hiyo ni makosa. Ni kama kuchukua nia mbaya katika hospitali za kibinafsi katika taifa letu, kwamba wanaficha mili kwa minajili ya kusaidia serikali. Hiyo ni uongo kabisa ambayo haifai. Kama taifa tu endeleze propaganda kama hiyo, kwa sababu hata wale wako kwa private mortuaries ni watu. Sio private mortuary, ni watu wanafanya, wako na jukumu ya kuonyesha familia ama wale walipoteza wapendwa wao wajue walipo. Na kwa hivyo sitaki tufanyie siasa jambo ngumu kama hii ambayo watu wamepoteza maisha yao. Sisi kama wizara na National Police Service pia tuko tayari kupata ripoti ya kusema hapana, sio 42 ni 43, na ni kwa sababu mlisahau huyu ama huyu ama huyu. Na sometimes ripoti ya kwanza yenye inakuja kwa polisi lazima ifuatiwe na also watu wenye walikuwa injured alafu pengine wakafariki. Pia si yote si watu wote walikufa around the time ya maandamano wamekufa kwa sababu ya maandamano. I mean, inawezekana kwamba some people were caught up in the same situation by different things. Mtu mgonjwa, mtu ambaye amepata ajali barabarani, mtu mwenye, unajua kuna so many other deaths that are reported in the country every other minute, na ikiunganishwa pamoja na yale ya maandamano huenda mtu akasema ni mingi, ama pengine sisi pia tuseme ni chache, but evidence, tuende kupitia evidence. Hakuna msosano, hakuna mashindano tuko nayo kati ya KNHCR na ama civil society na Kenya, because there is nothing to hide. This loss of life was extremely unfortunate, and it's not like the kind of thing that anyone is happy about, and therefore there is no reason to hide. It's not like we went around, the police went around to say let's kill people. It was in the process of managing a very difficult situation, and which we shouldn't have it as our country.
Asante sana waziri. Nafungua jukwaa, tuna dakika 15. Nafungua jukwaa kwa maswali mafupi, pengine mawili. Seth.
Thank you so much. CS, you're launching the National Firearms Policy, which you announced you're going to launch on Friday. But even as you launch this policy, which is going to give a good guidance in regards to use of firearms, and especially against protesters, what is your stand on how police are supposed to confront protesters? There were very controversial remarks made, starting from when you went to Kikuyu to inspect the Kikuyu and Dagoretti police stations that were torched. But also we've heard from the head of state giving a suggestion on how protesters are supposed to be handled, the famous or infamous shoot in the leg. What is your stand? Do you still believe that law enforcement officers are supposed to forcefully confront protesters?
I think there is a big mistake and propaganda that's going on in the country. When I went to Kikuyu, I had a conversation with the public about use of force and use of firearm and shooting and use of bullets, which I actually, the word I use is piga risasi. And people must understand the context of that conversation. The conversation was around invasion of the police station and the attacking of the police officers. Some of the police officers just told us that they had to jump through a mabati because they were overpowered by a mob that was carrying guns, stones and machetes, and they quickly stole the guns. 5 guns were stolen from Dagoretti police station. And then in the Kikuyu, they not only burned the court and the various buildings, but they tried to get to the armory. Now I'm told in that armory there were explosives, and the possibility they wanted the guns because there were more guns there, more ammunitions. And so what I try to tell the police is that you have a right to use your firearm. You use force, to use bullets to protect yourself and protect your life and protect the lives of others. And it's not my words, it's the words of the law itself. The law is expressed that there are situations, and you will see in some of the policy directions I'm trying to explain to the IG when we release it on Friday, is to make it clear that there are circumstances under which the police officer can defend himself. Whether shooting leads to loss of life, or perhaps apprehending a criminal by perhaps taking the lesser measure to make sure that you apprehend them so that they don't kill many people, or they don't kill you or kill other person or kill many people, is now a subject of the circumstances under which the police officer is going to find themselves. And when even the president talks about shooting the legs and so forth, it's figuratively trying to say that it should not be your first desire to kill. You have to find a way of trying to apprehend. And the law itself is even very clear that if you shoot somebody and you have already apprehended that person, the first thing is to make sure that they get medical attention. And then you report to IPOA. And you must report to your superiors, and you report, and the superiors must report to IPOA that somebody was shot. So there's a whole procedure on how you are dealing with a violent attackers. Number two is that the propaganda that's being peddled is that any of us said, neither myself nor His Excellency spoke about shooting protesters. Protesters in the Constitution are not supposed to be shot at all, not even in the leg, because the Constitution Article 37 presupposes that when you are a protester, yeah, you are either protesting, you are demonstrating, you are picketing, you are preparing to give a petition. It is assumed by the Constitution that you are peaceful. The people we are talking about are not protesters. We are talking about robbers. We are talking about thugs. We are talking about terrorists. We are talking about arsonists. We are talking about people who came to police station to kill a police officer, to steal from the police station, to steal guns from the police station, and with now guns with ammunition in their hands, we do not know how many people they are going to kill. But I don't know how people now came to the conclusion that it's about protesters and people picketing and demonstrating. But because, you know, people, countless times I have made clarification that there is no way I said shoot someone to kill. But I see people repeating shoot to kill, shoot to kill. If it benefits them to say shoot to kill, so be it. In any case, when we are in this Kerio Valley, yeah, the police are confronted every day with bandits who are armed to the teeth, you know, some carrying more than one gun, you know, some carrying even machine guns. And at that point in time, there is no debate between the police officer and that thug. And by the way, if you tell Kenyans, should people in Kerio Valley bandits be shot? They don't even blink. They tell you they should be shot. Yeah? But if you tell them, should a robber or an arsonist or an attacker in Nairobi be shot, they tell you, no, don't shoot. The same thing we were discussing earlier here, that people think certain areas of the country, guns were made for certain areas of the country, and certain criminals are supposed to be you need to babysit them. But the ones of Kerio Valley, the ones of Northeastern there, the ones of border counties, they should be dealt with ruthlessly. The police officers are properly trained to know when they should use their firearm and the amount of force they should use and the circumstances under which they should use and how they will account for the same. But these jokes that people, and let me use this opportunity to say this, that some of the situations have led to innocent bystanders, including it's suspected that a child was shot, you know, who was not a protester. She wasn't even a protester, not even a peaceful protester, not a goon. And that is a very unfortunate situation because children and innocent Kenyans being caught in a very, 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 very unfortunate, violent situation. So, and you know, we're having all this conversation. All eyes are focusing on the police because, and Murkomen and the president and all that, because it is convenient to only blame the police officers. Nobody asks themselves, how did we degenerate as a nation to have thugs, goons, hardcore criminals, including ones that steal guns and go and use them a day after to do robbery? How did we reach a stage where that was normalized, that politicians are organizing such hardcore criminals to engage in a fight with citizens and the police in the pretense that they were doing demonstrations? And because it is convenient to only speak about how then police in responding, they ended up killing some people and even innocent other people who were caught in the crossfire. To have just that half conversation is very unfortunate and is politically motivated by other people. I am very clear in my mind that there is sanctity of life. People must protect life, and the protection of life includes dealing with criminals that want to take away either life of a policeman or another citizen. And I'll make that even abundantly clear on this Friday.
Okay, Waziri, I have actually two questions that are very important for the people of Turkana. One, you spoke about Loima Corridor being, safe as at now. And I'll say that maybe could be attributed to the efforts of individual leaders and maybe the county government structures that are already laid. Loima, when it comes to Loima is 8,800 kilometers square, and with only 2 police stations and 2 police posts. And given that the fact that is not enough, we have Naipa and Nasiger, are gazetted police posts, but not operationalized. So Lobei Kotaruk ward as just a single station or a post. All of Loima ward, you can imagine the numbers against the vastness of the place. So, Mheshimiwa, I will request that maybe you address that matter if we are really into the matters of solving security and even ensuring there is peace along that area. Now to my second question, you spoke about, the institution of Ateker Special Envoy, that is Honorable John Muñez. We really appreciate, and Turkana, he went into jubilation after the president appointed him into that office. There is already plans that are already undergoing, as you have been following. He has been in so many areas along the borderland, even engaging communities on different matters regarding peace building, and much more. So my issue is about the pending resource sharing plan, which is in the hands of the Ministry of Interior and also in the hands of Foreign Affairs. I'm told already institutions involved have already done a lot on their side. Remember, according to Article 3 of 2023, that is article that was imposed by the President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, after the killing of the 5, Ugandan geologists. So that was said they were killed by the Turkana herders. So that issue was so emotive, and even involving the county government. The governor was so into the matter, plus the area MP of Loima, because most of the people that were involved in that matter were the people from that area. And so as we speak, the two governments have already sat down and have engaged on how they can be, engaging on sharing resources along the corridor. But now the most pending aspect is that one of the resource sharing agreement that is already being pushed. So how will the ministry, your ministry, spearhead now or expedite the signing of that agreement, so that now we have our people moving freely into Uganda, because there is a lot that are actually enshrined into that plan. Asante sana.
Thank you very much. Manuel, I think you've said something very profound, that a lot of the peace that we've seen in Loima, not just Loima alone, but even between yourselves and Pokot and with Uganda, is because of the efforts of local leaders. And that includes the governor, the MP, the MCAs, and the elected leaders around here. That is how it should be. Actually, we should be doing everything possible. If we depend on police to give us peace, it will be impossible. It should be our job. It should be, police can provide security, but they cannot provide peace. They can, we can have security, but without peace. Yeah, we can have security protection in a place, but you don't sleep in your house in peace, because you're always worried that if the police officer is unable to see, or the NPR, I will be under attack. The best moment is peace and a peace building, and this can only happen when local communities understand and engage each other. When Pokots and Turkana do that, when Pokots and Marakwet do that, when Pokots on the other side and Samburu do the same, that is when we can have really what is called meaningful and lasting peace. So I really want to urge the elected leaders, religious leaders, community leaders to be in the forefront in terms of speaking peace and seeking peace. In any case, the Bible says that blessed are the peacemakers, because they shall be called the children of God. So the most important thing is for us to look for peace. And where we have succeeded is because local community embracing peace. They want to speak against organized criminals, bandits. They want to smoke them out of the community, and they want to volunteer information to the government and say so and so and so and so and so are the reason why we have a problem, and they want to live in peace. So that way, I think by doing what they have done as leaders, that is what we want. On the gazetted police stations, as I have already admitted earlier in the Jukwa, 18 police stations in such a county is a joke. Okay, it's like about 3 police stations in every sub-county in 77,000 square kilometers. It's a big problem. So as I said earlier, we need to think through ways of increasing the strength of police officers in this county, and make sure that it is spread, so that one doesn't build a police station one corner which is near to the other and cannot be fully a police station. To just get equity, we need to find ways, and I'm going to, as I promised the people of Turkana, I say that we need to increase, even if it's by 6 to start with, and then, you know, like that. We are going to see how we will do that in a scientific manner, looking at the population so that people can get services. Then we can ask for support from NGCDF and other resources to build police stations. So that will be a very good approach to it. And therefore, some of the police posts that have been built, like the ones you're saying, as soon as we improve our strength in next hiring, we'll give them as a priority. And then we are proposing from the ministry to the national government that every year there must be a budget for recruitment, so that you can replace those that are retiring. Like now, if you recruit 10,000 people, chances are that they are all of the same age. When they reach 60, if you recruited people 25, maybe in the next 35 years, they will all retire almost at once. So you will have to plan that in 35 years, as 10,000 are leaving, 10,000 or more are coming in. So we must have that long-term policy, and then looking at the population. But also, as technology improves, then you don't need so many policemen. Okay? You can have few. If you invest more, you can have few, well-trained, and more effective. So the biggest problem we have here is that we are using the human resource more, because we don't have vehicles, we don't have drones, we don't have digital OB, we don't have digital cameras on the streets, so we want so many traffic police officers and so forth. But as we improve technology going forward as a country, we will then be able to utilize lesser number of police officers to do more work than when we have at the moment. But also, if we kill this thing called banditry completely, we may not need the number of police officers we need in this country. Banditry is taking a lot of officers from us. Lastly, you had asked the question of the role of Senator Muñez, Honorable Muñez. It is true that it is important to support the agreement. The agreement is not between Interior and Foreign Affairs in Kenya. It's between the government of Kenya and the government of Uganda. I was in the bilateral meeting when President Museveni came to the country last year, and a date had been set. But I think because of exigencies of duties and many other things, we were unable to go for that signing ceremony. I was not even in this ministry. I was at that time in the roads ministry. And I believe that that should come up soon. I don't know whether we should wait for Uganda to finish the elections or before. It will be the consultation between the two countries through the diplomatic channels. But I know President Ruto and President Museveni have had one-on-one conversation on this issue, and we should be able to bring it up soon. And maybe the work of Honorable Muñez will hasten the process of signing this agreement. Yeah.
Kuna swali la mwisho tu
asante, naona muda wetu
dakika moja kutoka kwa msikilizaji.
Bwana Masinde, tulia kwanza. Kama ningempa pengine mtu mwingine swali, labda ingekuwa ni Makrin, kwa sababu nafikiri ndio hajapata fursa.
Kwa sababu imeuliza maswali.
Naam, nashukuru sana. Japo nilikuwa na swali langu.
Kuna lile limetoka kwa msikilizaji.
Sawa. Sawa, acha niulize swali hili, ni kuhusu disarmament of illegal firearms. Bwana Waziri, labda kuhusiana na swala hilo, inasemekana kwamba wakati serikali inafanya juhudi ya kwamba iweze kuondoa zile silaha haramu upande wa West Pokot, upande wa Turkana, na baadaye labda wanapatikana kwamba kama kule Todonyang wanavamiwa, ama kule upande wa Marsabit wale wavuvi ambao wanaenda kufanya uvuvi kule. Kwa hivyo inasemekana kwamba kuna mikakati ipi ambayo serikali inafanya kuhakikisha kwamba inazungumza na mataifa jirani kuhakikisha kwamba wakati ambapo serikali ya Kenya inafanya disarmament of illegal firearms, kule pia zoezi kama hilo linafanyika?
Tuko na regional mechanism ya mambo ya firearms na tunashirikiana na nchi jirani, lakini sio, unajua hata vizuri kwamba nchi nyingi jirani hawana uwezo wakati huu ya kupambana na illegal firearms. Shida kubwa sana ya disarmament, hata ukiondoa bunduki zote kwa Aro, West Pokot pale, Elgeyo Marakwet and so forth, bora kuna porous border inasaidia kuingiza kutoka Marsabit. Unajua shida yenye tuko nayo kwa Southern Ethiopia, South Sudan, you know the problem yenye wako nayo saa hizi, uko upande wa Somalia, basically wale Al-Shabaab wanatusumbua kila wakati. So access to firearms ni rahisi sana across our border. We are the most disadvantaged kwa across the border kwa access to firearms. Ndio inaendeleza continuously bunduki zikiingia Kenya, na inaendeleza pia risasi zenye zinaingia Kenya. So imebidi tu sasa tukufanye hii border patrol operations yenye tunafanya and so forth, and at the same time mimi naamini tungefanya development zaidi, songeshe development isonge, watu wataachana na bunduki as you move, mpaka tutafika stage yenye itabaki to around the border where we can register locals wenye wako border to be licensed firearm holder for purpose of protecting themselves until at such a time that also neighbors can be able to disarm their part. So the key thing that I believe in that will sort out this thing of banditry is to bring development, roads, water, schools, so that people don't see it necessary to raid the neighbors among ourselves as Kenyans, because their level of development has been improved to a higher level. So the long-term solution of banditry is development.
Asante sana. Umemaliza waziri?
So if it is my last remark, ningependa kusema nashukuru sana. Nimefurahia sana kikao hiki na wanahabari, na nimefurahia safari yangu hapa Turkana. Tumekuwa na kikao ambayo ni tofauti kwa yote, ilikuwa na wananchi wengi sana. Tumechukua muda mwingi, tumemaliza saa 1 na dakika 15. Inamaanisha kwamba na watu waliketi kwa uvumilivu kutoka saa 5 mpaka saa hizi saa 1 na 15 hapo, kumaanisha walikuwa na nia na ya kusema mambo mengi, na ninawataka kuhakikishia kwamba hii haitakuwa tu ni majadiliano kwa minajili ya kuongea. Tutajikaza kama serikali kutimiza yale ambayo tunaweza kutimiza kwa wakati huu, na pia kupangia yale tunafanya kwa long term. Otherwise nataka kuambia county ya Turkana, asanteni sana. You are a very beautiful county. Nafurahia kuwa hapa na natumai kurudi tena hivi karibuni. Asanteni sana.
Ndio county namba 15 katika msururu wa jukwaa la usalama.